Hi friends, I'm Tom Otto. I'd like to welcome you to the Joy of Handwriting. If this is your first time joining us, allow me to extend a personal invitation to grab your pens, ink, and notebook to write along with us. This week, we celebrate National Handwriting Day on January 23rd, which is also John Hancock's birthday. He's the fella known for his big signature on the Declaration of Independence. So in honor of this special day, we're going to explore the serene world of handwriting and discover the joy it brings. For today's writing session, we have a Rhodia number 16 dot pad with 80 GSM high-grade vellum paper. It has a 5mm light gray dot grid pattern, so we can keep our letters nice and neat. For my writing tools, I have a range of fountain pens and different nib styles to play with on our paper canvas. We'll show you some of the names of the pens on the bottom of the screen and include links in the description below. First, there's a Lamy Safari fitted with a 1.1mm stub nib. Then we have a Lamy 2000 with a hooded 14 karat gold medium nib. Then we have this Pilot Custom 823. It's got a 14 karat gold nib. It's an FA nib, so it looks a little different than you're used to. It's a custom sort of thing, so it's not something you can find on our website, but you can find the FA nib on the Custom 912 and the Custom 743. And last but not least, we have a Pelikan Souvron M800 with an 18 karat gold medium nib. And now for our color palette of fountain pen inks, I have a few new hues. I already inked up the Lamy 2000 with Colorverse Korea Special Edition ink, and it's number 46. It's Bridge, I believe. I might be getting that a little bit incorrect with the pronunciation. And then for our Lamy Safari, we're going to put in Vinta Overcast Blue, which is a lovely shimmer ink. And for the Custom 823, we're going to put in Wearing Yule's Captain Hook. And then for this here Pelikan M800, we have Sailor Shikiori Forbidden Treasure Chest from the Japanese Fairy Tale collection. And I brought along this handy dandy paper towel just in case we get ourselves a little bit of an inky mess, which is okay. First, we're going to fill up our Lamy Safari using its cartridge converter that's included here. And with any shimmer ink, I'm going to recommend that give it a good old shaky shake before we fill it and open it up, just so we could get all of those glorious glittery shimmer particles all throughout the ink and they don't settle to the bottom. Now what you want to do is you want to advance that converter all the way down, that piston head all the way down to the front end of the pen. We're going to put our nib into the bottle of ink, make sure it is submerged, and then twist to bring up the ink into the pen. Sometimes it takes 1 or 2 tries. It's all right. There we go. Just wipe the nib a little bit on the side. Get that little bit of excess ink off of there. And we have ourselves an inked Lamy Safari. And you can see a little bit of that shimmer coming out when you wipe it on the paper towel. And that's just always fun to see. Next, we're going to fill up the Pilot Custom 823 with Captain Hook. And this bottle has got a really nifty image of Captain Hook when you change it in the light here. You tilt it a little bit, and you can see Captain Hook on there as a little graphic. But the neatest part is how this pen fills, and we're going to show you how it does it using a vacuum system. Now my pen's got a little bit of water droplets in the barrel here, and that's okay, because it's going to just mix up with the ink anyway. It's going to be so much ink in here that it's not going to dilute the color whatsoever. So we're going to open up the tail end of the pen, unscrew the blind cap, and then pull so that the piston rod's all the way at the back end of the pen. Then we're going to dip the nib into the bottle of ink, submerge the nib entirely up to the section. Then we're going to press down, and voila! Very, very satisfying. And last, we're going to fill up this Pelikan M800 with some Sailor ink here. And this Pelikan M800 has a piston fill mechanism. So you got a nice range of different types of filling systems here. You have the cartridge converter, you have a vacuum filling system, and you have the more traditional piston fill system, which I already unscrewed the blank cap so that the piston's all the way at the forward end of the pen. I'm going to open up this lovely ink here. I always love it when a little bubble appears on the mouth opening of the bottle, and then you have to pop it to get the nib into the ink. So just like with the Custom 823 or the Lamy, you have to dip the nib all the way into that ink, make sure you got proper suction. You really can't tell so much with a pen that's opaque in the barrel, so we got to see if there's going to be enough ink that came up in here. And I'm twisting the blank cap the other way just to see if there was ink that came up, and it didn't. So let's just twist it back open again and then dip the nib all the way and then twist it back. And then once we twist it out a little bit, we should see a few drops, which we do. And that's just fine. Just wiping down this nib here. Before we put pen to paper, let's check in with yourself. How are you doing today? Let's take this time for yourself to find your inner peace and relaxation. Take a deep breath, roll out your shoulders, and wiggle your digits to get your bodies ready for writing. Now start off writing on the Rhodia dot pad here, our canvas. I'm going to use a flexible nib, this FA nib on the Pilot Custom 823. Well, first, when I like to start my writing, I might want to write today's date. So, being that we're talking about National Handwriting Day, let's write down today's date being Tuesday. This is January 23rd. Now what you want to do with a flex nib is anytime that you're going on the downstroke there, you want to be pressing just a little bit. It's almost as if you're just kind of petting that paper, just very softly, not too hard or aggressive. Just give it a gentle little pull as you're pressing down on the line with. So today is National Handwriting Day, so let's write down this name of the day. So we go nice and light up on the upstroke, and then as we bring it down the downstroke, we're going to press a little bit and then let up on that pressure for the upstroke. That's your N. Let's do the same thing for the A. Key here is just taking your time. Just take your time with it. Relax. Let the day's worries just melt right off onto the page like the ink that you're seeing. And this ink is just lovely, isn't it? It's got a little bit of some shading in it. So now that we wrote our title of the day, we could switch to a different nib and a different ink. Maybe we could just do a little bit of a warm-up. So sometimes we like to warm up, just get our writing muscles moving. We could do a little bit of some swirlies and some ovals. So here I have this stub nib on a Lamy Safari, and it's going to give you naturally a thicker downstroke than it would be the horizontal line. So we can even practice some horizontal and some vertical strokes just to show you the difference. So with a stub nib, you want to pull it straight down. Don't put any pressure on it. You could just let it just kind of ride through the paper, but you want to press it downward so that both sides of the tines meet the paper in contact at the same time. And that'll get you your broadest stroke on this pen. Then same thing for horizontal. You want to keep both sides of the stub nib on the paper at the same time. Don't try not to roll it too much in one direction because you're just going to miss the mark. And then we're just doing some loops, just taking it at your own pace, just enjoying the feeling of putting the nib on paper. You could do little small X's, almost as if you're doing connecting the dots on this dot grid. And it makes a nice little interesting pattern. Just remember, it's our world, and we could write anything that we want to. And one of the most popular things that folks like to write is what's called a pangram, which I'll write that for you. And a pangram is a sentence that incorporates every letter of the alphabet in one sentence. So a popular one that you might have heard of before is the quick brown fox. And the reason why you'd want to write one letter of every letter in the alphabet is to try out the pen. It's just to see what it's capable of doing every letter that is in the alphabet. Now maybe you might have some list of things that you might need to accomplish today, so we're going to write a little to-do list now. We're going to use our Lamy 2000 to write the to-do list. And the Lamy 2000 has a lovely, lovely smooth medium point nib on this. So we're going to do a little bit of some bullet journaling right now. We're going to write our to-do list of the day. And your to-do list could look a lot different than my to-do list, but maybe we have some grocery shopping we got to take care of. We got to pay some bills, of course. Pick up the kids from school. And we have to always take that trip to the art supply store. Get ourselves some inspiration for our writing and our art. Now, don't worry if you accidentally maybe get a little bit of some extra ink on the paper. There are no such things as mistakes here. There's only happy incidents. So if you accidentally drop a little bit of ink on your paper, or you misspell something, or something just doesn't come out right, it's okay. Just let it go. Have it be part of the page. You don't have to worry about starting over again. You could even use a little ink blot like this and make it something nice and colorful. We could, let's say, take our towel and, wipe it around and get something nice and interesting. Almost kind of looks like a beautiful mist, and there's a mysterious figure inside. And we can even maybe just draw some happy trees, We could just take our medium point nib and just put some happy trees in here and fill them out using this really nice dark blue ink. And maybe just create like a little bit of an island that's inside here in the middle. And this is especially good. This nib is perfect for writing or for doodling when you're at a meeting. So if you have a particular meeting where you are on Zoom, but you don't have to have your camera on, you could have your paper out and be able to do some little bit of some doodles. So we could doodle something like a cat. And this cat here, he is drinking an entire pot of coffee. So let's give him a little bit of a coffee pot here. He's got that whole pot of coffee because he is very tired. He's a very tired cat. And he can't sleep because he's at a meeting right now. I gotta have his hand here, his little paw holding up or you can have his tail. His tail's holding it up. It's all good. And he's just drinking that coffee. So just remember, let your imagination just take you wherever it leads. And let that pen guide you. Let it just roll across the page and not worry so much about what you're saying, but the fact that you're just saying it. Imagination is like any other muscle in your body. The more you practice, the better it becomes. So it's your world. You can make all of the decisions in your world. You could just decide to draw a nib if you like. I'm going to attempt to draw the pelican nib that's on here. Let's see, there's another. Or you could just do terrible stick figures, like so. But these stick figures are happy stick figures, and they enjoy being drawn. They're drawn to your love of writing and of fountain pens. So I'm going to take my Pilot Custom 823 and just sign this, and we'll call this finished. Take a photo of your handwriting and tag us at Goldspot Pens on social media, or send us a good old-fashioned snail mail letter to Goldspot Pens, 1230 State Route 34 in Aberdeen, New Jersey, 07747. Thank you, friends, for joining this journey into the joy of handwriting. I look forward to seeing you in the very near future. Stay inky, my friends. Take care.